Hi, Kevin.
Hey, how are you?
Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Kevin Wiseman. I am a career firefighter with the Spring Fire Department. I'm also a flight instructor, United Flight Systems. I'm a father of two and been married for about 18 years. And originally from Detroit, Michigan, and lived in the Houston area since the early 90s.
What got you into flying?
Ever since I was a little kid, I saw Top Gun when I was 6 years old and I was hooked. And it took me over 20 years to actually get into an airplane. I followed my family into the family business and the fire service. Most of the guys in my family, all the way back to the Civil War, been in the fire department.
Wow.
So I grew up listening to stories about various time periods and various cities, and that's really what I wanted to do. For flying for me was a bucket list item, and I never really envisioned I would follow into instruction. But after getting my private pilot certificate and being around this particular flight school, it was something I really liked and decided to pursue it. Here I am.
And that's awesome. Yeah, flying is a bucket list item for me. As you know, I kind of worked on it and then took a step back.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time with you, I'll make it all the way through.
Stick it through.
Make it through. Well, did you know that NASA's planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
Yeah, so being in Space City here and knowing some people that work at JSC, I was aware that there are plans to go back to the moon, but other than just the basic announcement, never really saw any specific project details or timetables, or more importantly, how they're budgeting for that, with the Obama years cutting up a lot of the budget and giving away a lot of our good stuff. So. But very interested. I'm kind of curious to see what the project would entail, and then of course how we make it. It's always amazing to me that we have more powerful cell phones today than those guys had back in those days.
And this time it looks like we might actually make it. Last year they tested not even last year before last, they tested the rocket that would take people to the moon and selected 4 astronauts. They're supposed to go around the moon this year, so
awesome.
It's gonna be kind of neat. But what do you think about us going back to the moon?
Sure. I think that as long as there's value to what the organization, if there's value to NASA, I think it's worth doing. If the mission's worth putting forth the time and the effort, and the long-term benefit meets our needs, I think it's an awesome opportunity, and it's worth pursuing.
And now, thinking about the future is always a tricky thing. But if you were to let your imagination go wild and think about 200 years in the future, do you think humanity has actually expanded beyond the Earth at that point, or we're still pretty much just on the Earth doing what we're doing now?
200 years, I'd like to think at that point we've expanded beyond. Certainly with the research that's available, I think it will all boil down to how do we make it sustainable, and what benefit to humanity would there be, like resource-wise and development-wise, to move beyond our planet into somewhere different.
What do you think about the reason of just doing it because we just wanna?
Hey, there's a whole lot of just because I wanna that's made science since forever. So I think there's a lot of I want to do something and let me figure out how to do it scientifically and mathematically and just about everything we do. So
I think flying started out that way too.
Most certainly, flying, rocketry. Think of all those started of how can I deliver XYZ much faster.
And if you could take a trip to space, would you?
Absolutely.
How far would you go?
I'd like to go around the moon and back. I'd like to kind of experience what those Apollo astronauts did, but with much better technology. Certainly the unknown would be much different when you get on the backside of the moon, but there's only one way to find out what it's like, and that's to go check it out.
Do you think you'll get that opportunity in your lifetime?
I think that for me, that's probably come and gone, just based on my age, but I definitely would be up to try it.
How about your children's lifetime?
Possibly. I have one that has some interest in aeronautics, but you never really sure. They're young. They're still 15 and 12, so we'll see what their careers bring for them.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for participating in my project and taking this time to talk to me.
You're welcome. Look forward to it.